The clock is ticking. Dot. Sequence 2. Dot. Chard pulled up into the parking lot of their local coffee shop. He stepped out of his car and made his way towards the entrance. He looked around the small shop and smiled when he noticed his sister sitting at a table. He walked over to her and she stood up to hug him. "Rough night?" she asked as he slid down into his seat. "You can't imagine," he yawned. "You will never change. Chard will always be Chard, Maya." "I see." A waiter walked by their table a while later and they made their order. "You are glowing, Maya." "What do you mean I am glowing?" "There is just something about you that looks different." "Well, maybe it's because I am pregnant." Her whole face lit up in an instant. "You are pregnant?" He beamed with excitement. "Yes." "Wow, this is the best news I have heard in months. Congratulations. You deserve this." "Thank you, Uncle." When the waiter arrived with their coffee and muffins, there was silence for a while. Maya cleared her throat. "So, Salma called me last night." "What does she want?" "She wanted me to talk to you." "About?" he asked, sounding uninterested. "She says you have been avoiding her." He took a deep breath. "Salma is such a bore, she gets on my last nerves." Chard. "Seriously, she is too clingy. I thought things were moving well between you guys." "Nah, that girl is a drama queen. I have way too much on my plate to deal with her." "Chard, when are you going to drop this lifestyle of yours? You aren't getting any younger, you know." He took a bite out of his muffin and a sip of coffee. "Once bitten, twice shy. How many years has it been since Nicole rejected you? Are we still going round that circle again? This has nothing to do with Nicole, just drop it. You have a son, Chard, your priorities should be different now. What sort of example are you setting for Theo?" "Don't bring my son into this. Theo is everything to me." "Yet you couldn't make things work with his mother." He rolled his eyes. "You know me and Theo's mother had too many issues, we just couldn't work out. Besides, she has moved on. Just be glad she even allowed you to be a part of your son's life, otherwise you would be a lost cause." "Duh. Okay, since you and Theo's mother will never not make things work with Salma. You are not getting any younger. For the love of God, you need to settle down. Just leave me alone already." "Fine." She raised her hands up in surrender. "So how is your husband? I bet he is excited about the pregnancy." She smiled. "You can't imagine how excited he is. He is all over the moon." "I am truly happy for you guys. I can't wait for this little munchkin to be born." "Me too." They ate in silence for the next few minutes, and when they finished, Chard paid their bill and they walked out to her car. "So I have one last favor to ask you before you leave." "I am all ears." "Call Salma and sort out things with her." "Not this again. Please, Chard, Salma is good for you." "Salma is psycho. You need a little psycho bae in your life." "Fine. I will be waiting for feedback." "Okay. So let me rush back home. I am receiving some visitors for lunch." "All right, sis. Take care." "You too." He gave her a brief hug and kiss on her forehead before opening the door for her. When she was finally settled into the driver's side, he closed the door firmly. "Bye," she waved at him before starting the car. Chard watched the car drive off till it was out of sight, then he turned and walked back to his own car. After the Nicole saga, he wasn't going to chance it again. She had destroyed him, and from then on he had vowed that if broken hearts were destined to happen in relationships, he would be the one breaking them and not the other way round. At this point, marriage wasn't even anywhere close to his mind. He already had a son. What else would he searching for in a marriage? ****. "Morning, Maddie." Her assistant Gracie greeted her cheerfully. "Morning," she responded, walking past her and into her office. She closed the door behind her back and walked to her desk. She put her bag on the table and let out a deep breath before she sat down and turned on her computer. She was looking at the photos she had just uploaded on her computer when a knock at the door startled her. "Come in," she called out. The door flew open and Gracie walked in with her coffee. Thank you, Gracie, she smiled. You are welcome. Is Stacy in? Yes. She needs to be at the mayor's residence at 12 exactly for his daughter's birthday lunch. Please remind her. Okay. Humming to herself, she worked through each photo, editing it to the client's preference. Maddie loved and enjoyed her job a lot. As far as she could remember, Maddie had always been passionate about photography. She loved playing around with the camera, capturing moments and emotions so they wouldn't be forgotten. When she was a little girl, her late father gave her an old camera, and since then it never left her hand. For Maddie, photography was about self-therapy. She expressed herself better via photographs. They helped her to see the world differently. Which is why when she finished high school, she headed straight to university where she earned a bachelor's degree in fine arts with a concentration in photography. She did all this against her mother's wishes. For Maddie's mother, photography wasn't a noble career for any child of hers to pursue. But despite not getting support from her mother and siblings, Maddie built a name for herself in the industry, and at 34 she owned and operated her own studio. ****. She spent most of her morning working on the photos, and when she was finally done, she emailed her client a link to the site where he could download the photos. Here are the photos, the email said. Sorry for the delay in sending them. We hope you love them. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you. Regards, Matilda Munga. ****1300. Maddie was having her lunch when her phone rang. She stared at her screen and realized it was a strange number. Matilda Munga, she said brightly into the phone. Maddie, the voice on the other end of the line spoke. Yes, this is Maddie, she responded. Who is this? My names are Charity Emwilla. I got your number from Chuma. Oh, Febby is one of our consistent clients. What can I do for you, Charity? My sister is getting married on Sunday, July 16th, and the photographer we had booked earlier has lost his mother and he won't be available. She paused. I was hoping to. But that's 2 days away. I know it's short notice, but I am desperate. I don't know who else to call. We might have something booked for that day. Let me check. Charity blew out a frustrated puff of air. I am willing to pay double. Please. Let me check if any of the photographers are free. I don't want anyone else but you. Chuma told me how good you are. Okay, let me check. There was a brief silence on the line as Maddie flipped through the pages of her daily planner. So, she asked after a few minutes, her voice full of curiosity. Well, we can squeeze you in on Sunday. Thank you very much, she excitedly explained. So my Pia will call you a few minutes from now. You will give her the details of the wedding and what kind of photos you want, then she will send you the quotation. Thank you. You are welcome, she responded before she cut the call. She let out a sigh and closed her eyes. Great, there goes my weekend. To be continued after comments.